From houses perched on isolated islands to those clinging to rugged hills and towering mountains, today we are exploring the 15 most isolated houses in the world. Number 15. Catski Column, Georgia. The Catski Column in Georgia is a stunning example of human devotion and isolation. This natural limestone monolith rises nearly 130 feet above the surrounding landscape, topped by a small church and a solitary monk's cell. For over 20 years, a monk named Maxim Kaftaradze lived alone atop this pillar, seeking spiritual solitude and closeness to God. The original church on the Catski Column dates back to the 9th or 10th century, though it fell into disrepair over time. In the 1990s, it was restored, and Maxim began his ascetic life there. The only way to reach the top is by a precarious ladder attached to the rock face, emphasizing the extreme isolation and commitment of those who choose to live there. While Maxim now spends more time on the ground, the Catski Column remains a symbol of solitary faith, where modern life seems a world away from the sacred heights of this ancient pillar. Number 14. The Lonely Cabin on Three Fingers Mountain, Washington. The Lonely Cabin on Three Fingers Mountain in Washington is one of the most isolated and breathtaking shelters in the Pacific Northwest. Perched at an elevation of 6,850 feet, this tiny fire lookout was built in the 1930s by the U.S. Forest Service to monitor wildfires. Accessible only via a challenging, vertigo-inducing hike, the final approach to the cabin requires climbing a steep ladder fixed to the mountain's rock face, making it a destination for only the most adventurous hikers. The cabin is a simple wooden structure offering minimal shelter but breathtaking panoramic views of the surrounding Cascade Mountains. Though no one resides there permanently, it still serves as a refuge for those brave enough to make the ascent. The cabin's isolation, extreme weather conditions, and the daunting climb required to reach it have cemented its status as one of the most remote and thrilling spots in the entire region. Number 13. The Lonely House on Ellidaey Island, Iceland. The Lonely House on Ellidaey Island in Iceland has captured imaginations worldwide with its extreme isolation. Located in the Vestmannaeyjar archipelago, the house sits on a small, grassy island surrounded by steep cliffs and the vast North Atlantic Ocean. The building itself is a simple, white structure that stands in stark contrast to the rugged terrain. It was reportedly built in the early 20th century by the Ellidaey Hunting Association for puffin hunters. Despite its remote location, the house is well maintained and occasionally used as a hunting lodge, but no one lives there permanently. There are no roads, no electricity, and no plumbing, just pure solitude. The only way to reach the island is by boat or helicopter, making it one of the most isolated spots on Earth. While many rumors and myths circulate about the house, its purpose remains clear: a peaceful retreat for those seeking isolation in the wild beauty of Iceland. Number 12. Just Room Enough Island, New York. Just Room Enough Island, located in the Thousand Islands archipelago on the St. Lawrence River in New York, is exactly what its name suggests: a tiny island just big enough for one house. Purchased by the Iceland family in the 1950s, the island is about 3,300 square feet, making it one of the smallest inhabited islands in the world. The family built a small, cozy cottage that fills nearly the entire island, leaving just enough space for a few trees and a narrow walkway around the house. Despite its minuscule size, the island offers a peaceful retreat with stunning views of the river and neighboring islands. The house is only accessible by boat, emphasizing its isolation. While it may not be as remote as some far-flung locations, its tiny footprint and the unique challenge of living on such a small plot of land make it one of the most interesting and isolated homes in the world. Number 11. The Lonely House in Arnarstapi, Iceland. The Lonely House in Arnarstapi, Iceland is a striking image of isolation, sitting at the foot of the dramatic Stapafell mountain near the rugged coastline. This solitary white house, with its red roof, stands alone amidst the vast lava fields and rocky cliffs of the Snæfellsnes Peninsula. Its remote location makes it seem like the last bastion of civilization before the wild forces of nature take over. Despite its isolation, the house offers unparalleled views of the surrounding volcanic landscape as well as the crashing waves of the Atlantic Ocean. The nearby village of Arnarstapi is small and sparsely populated, further emphasizing the house's lonely setting. While no one lives here permanently, the house is a peaceful retreat for those seeking solitude, immersed in the raw beauty of Iceland's wilderness. Its rugged, windswept surroundings and tranquil atmosphere make it a true escape from the modern world. Number 10. Villa Las Estrellas, Antarctica. Villa Las Estrellas, located on King George Island in Antarctica, is one of the most remote settlements in the world. It isn't just one house, but a small village, housing around 100 people in the summer and far fewer during the harsh winter months. Established in the 1980s by Chile, Villa Las Estrellas serves as a base for researchers and their families. The houses are simple but sturdy, designed to withstand Antarctica's brutal conditions, with temperatures regularly plunging below freezing. Life here is incredibly isolated. The nearest help is thousands of miles away, so residents must be self-sufficient, even performing surgeries on site if needed. Interestingly, anyone who plans to live here must have their appendix removed before arrival to avoid medical emergencies. While scientists rotate in and out of the settlement, permanent residents are rare, making this frozen village one of the loneliest and most desolate places humans call home. Number 9. Wee White House, Scotland. The Wee White House, located on the remote Isle of Jura in Scotland, is a striking symbol of isolation and rugged beauty. This tiny whitewashed cottage sits alone on the island's wild, untamed coastline, offering a breathtaking view of the surrounding waters and distant mainland. Accessible only by a long, bumpy track and surrounded by vast, uninhabited landscapes, the house feels like it's at the edge of the world. Originally built as a shepherd's hut, the Wee White House is now a private residence and retreat, cherished for its solitude and simplicity. Its quaint appearance, with a slate roof and stone walls, contrasts sharply with the dramatic wilderness around it. The Isle of Jura itself is sparsely populated, known for its deer population, rugged hills, and the famous Paps of Jura. The Wee White House is perfect for those who seek isolation and the raw, natural beauty of Scotland's remote highlands and islands. Number 8. 3 major temples on the cliffside of Paro Valley, Bhutan. The 3 major temples on the cliffside of Paro Valley in Bhutan, including the famous Tiger's Nest Monastery, Paro Taksong, are among the most isolated and spiritually significant locations in the world. Perched dramatically on a sheer rock face 10,200 feet above sea level, these temples seem to float above the valley, blending seamlessly with the natural landscape. The complex dates back to the 17th century, though the legend of Guru Rinpoche meditating here in the 8th century gives the site its spiritual importance. The temples are accessible only by a strenuous hike, winding through pine forests and steep paths. Tiger's Nest is the most famous, but the surrounding temples offer equally breathtaking views and quiet spaces for meditation. Isolated high in the mountains, these temples symbolize spiritual devotion and Bhutan's deep connection to its Buddhist heritage, attracting pilgrims and adventurers alike who seek enlightenment in this remote and mystical setting. Number 7. Dina River House, Serbia. The Dina River House in Serbia is a tiny wooden cabin perched on a rock in the middle of the fast-flowing Dina River. Built in 1968 by a group of young men looking for a secluded retreat, the house has since become an iconic symbol of serenity and resilience. Constructing it was no small feat. Materials had to be transported by boat and even floated down the river. Despite its precarious location, the Dina River House has withstood decades of turbulent waters, floods, and storms. Over the years, the house has been repaired and rebuilt several times, but its charm remains untouched. While no one lives in the house permanently, it's a popular photo spot and a symbol of man's ability to live harmoniously with nature. Its isolation, surrounded by the rushing river, makes it one of the most unique and peaceful retreats on Earth, offering tranquility in the heart of the wilderness. Number 6. Gassadalur Village on Vagar Island, Faroe Islands. Gassadalur Village on Vagar Island in the Faroe Islands is a picturesque and incredibly isolated settlement. Nestled between steep cliffs and the North Atlantic Ocean, it was once one of the most remote places in the Faroe Islands. For centuries, the only way to reach the village was by a strenuous hike over mountain passes or via boat through dangerous waters. In 2004, a tunnel was finally built, connecting Gassadalur to the rest of the island by road. Despite the tunnel, Gassadalur has retained its sense of isolation. The village, home to fewer than 20 people, is surrounded by breathtaking scenery, including green meadows, dramatic cliffs, and the iconic Mjolnir waterfall cascading into the ocean. The houses are traditional, with turf roofs that blend seamlessly into the landscape. While modern access has made life a little easier, Yasadala remains a symbol of the Faroe Island wild beauty and the resilience of its people. Number 5. Boulder House, Portugal. The Boulder House, or Casa do Penedo, in Portugal is a marvel of unconventional architecture. Nestled in the Faith Mountains, this unique dwelling is built between 4 massive granite boulders, which form its walls and foundation. Constructed in 1974 as a family retreat, the house was designed to blend harmoniously with its rugged surroundings. Its stone facade and natural integration into the landscape give it a prehistoric, almost Flintstones-like appearance, making it a quirky tourist attraction. Though the house lacks modern amenities like electricity, it's a testament to minimalist, eco-friendly living. Inside, the Boulder House features wooden furniture, a fireplace, and windows offering stunning views of the surrounding hills. No one lives there permanently anymore, but it is maintained as a museum and occasionally rented for private stays. Isolated and blending with nature, Casa do Penedo offers a glimpse of simple living tucked away in the Portuguese mountains. Number 4. Wordie House on Winter Island, Antarctica. Wordie House, located on Winter Island in Antarctica, is a historic hut that represents early exploration in one of the most isolated places on Earth. Built in 1947 by the British Antarctic Survey, the house served as a research station until it was abandoned in 1954. Named after James Wordie, a Scottish geologist and member of Ernest Shackleton's famous Endurance expedition, the house has been preserved as a monument to those early explorers. Constructed from wood and built to withstand Antarctica's brutal weather, Wordie House still stands strong amidst the frozen wilderness. The interior is frozen in time, with supplies and tools left as they were decades ago. No one lives here today, but it remains a reminder of the extreme isolation and harsh conditions endured by researchers in the early days of polar exploration. Now a protected historic site, it attracts occasional visitors who brave the icy landscape to glimpse this relic of Antarctic history. Number 3. Solvay Hut, Switzerland. Solvay Hut in Switzerland is one of the most isolated mountain shelters in the world. Perched dramatically on the Matterhorn at an altitude of 13,133 feet. Built in 1915, the hut was constructed in just 5 days thanks to the ingenuity and determination of mountain guides. It serves as an emergency refuge for climbers tackling the Matterhorn's dangerous slopes, offering shelter from sudden storms or exhaustion during their ascent. Made of sturdy wood and metal, the hut clings precariously to a narrow ledge, providing breathtaking views of the surrounding Alps. Although it can accommodate up to 10 people, Solvay Hut is not meant for overnight stays unless absolutely necessary due to its extreme elevation and isolation. With no electricity or running water, it's a simple, life-saving outpost for adventurers who find themselves in distress. Its remote location and high altitude make it a symbol of human resilience and survival in the face of nature's challenges. Number 2. Church of St. Johann, Italy. The Church of St. Johann, or St. John in Ranui, is a charming, isolated chapel located in the picturesque Funes Valley in South Tyrol, Italy. Nestled against the dramatic backdrop of the Dolomite Mountains, this tiny Baroque church stands alone in an open meadow, surrounded by rolling green hills and towering peaks. Built in the 18th century, the church is known for its striking beauty and simplicity, with its pastel-colored exterior and distinctive onion-shaped dome. Despite its small size, the Church of St. Johann is a popular pilgrimage site, attracting visitors for its spiritual serenity and breathtaking surroundings. No village or town encroaches on its peaceful isolation, making it seem as if time has stopped here. The church's solitary location enhances its mystical atmosphere, offering a perfect retreat for those seeking peace, reflection, and the stunning beauty of the Italian Alps. Number 1. Hanging Temple, China. The Hanging Temple in China, also known as Zhuangkong Temple, is a jaw-dropping structure clinging to the cliffs of Mount Hang in Shanxi Province. Built more than 1,500 years ago, the temple seems to defy gravity, perched about 246 feet above the ground on narrow wooden stilts that are embedded into the rock face. It was originally constructed during the Northern Wei dynasty, blending Buddhist, Taoist, and Confucian traditions, a rare and fascinating combination. The temple is composed of over 40 rooms and halls, connected by narrow walkways and bridges. Despite its precarious appearance, the structure has withstood centuries of earthquakes, wind, and weather due to ingenious engineering. No one lives here permanently, but it remains a popular site for pilgrims and tourists seeking spiritual enlightenment or simply marveling at the temple's daring location. Isolated high above the ground, the Hanging Temple is a testament to human ingenuity and devotion in the most challenging of environments. Thanks for watching, everyone. Isn't it incredible how some of these homes are so isolated? Which one would you choose to live in? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up for more content. See you next time.